This is so fucking surreal. I can't believe that I'm actually about to see Ethan in person. This is so weird. Well, hey, what's up there? I only have about 60 seconds to make a video, but I just kind of wanted to say that's on my mind. This is the day after the tour. It's weird. I feel really strange. I feel very different. There's a video I want to make at some point about that phenomenon that I experienced that I'm assuming is probably normal. But that's for another day. I think that my videos beforehand really made it seem like I idolize Ethan a lot. And I think that's true, that I did and I couldn't help myself. But I think that after the tour, the way I feel now, and during the tour as well, he's just a person, you know? And that's something that I've always known, but it really settled in for me when I actually got to see him in real life. You know, he forgot lyrics at one point during the show to a song he was singing, and he looked really embarrassed. It just, I don't know, it showed me that he is a human being, just like the rest of us. And it made me stop idolizing him and make me feel more like he's something that he's done is less daunting for anyone else to do. To be clear, when I said that this morning, I didn't mean that I can do anything Ethan can do or something like that. But what I did mean is that he is a human being, and I think it truly settled in for me yesterday when I finally got to see him and talk to him. And it made me realize that I can do very incredible things too, because I'm a human being too. That's all I meant, really, is just that he's done incredible things, and that is awesome. And I can do some cool stuff too. And it really helped me, like, see that and feel it, as opposed to looking at him, where he is, and the things he's done, like Unus Annus, and just thinking, wow, that is insanely daunting, and I will probably never be able to do something like that. And also something he said to answer my Q&A question was along the same lines of what that taught me. Before I get too much into that, though, I just want to say, no, I didn't get any other recordings. I got this picture of me and him, but I just didn't like recording in public. It felt very awkward and off, and I didn't have much phone space anyway. So yeah, I didn't get any other recordings or anything. I was happy with living the experience as it was. But I do want to talk about the experience. During the Q&A, I asked Ethan what he would say to someone, whether it be for warning or advice, about having a creative career, pursuing a creative career of some kind. And the immediate thing he said, which I already knew, was that you shouldn't make it being a career the goal. And now he didn't say exactly this, I'm adding on to it a bit here, but he said something similar to the effect that doing just that could probably drive you crazy. Like I said, I already knew that, and I don't do that. I do this because I enjoy it, and because I hope that it can be a career one day. And then about the dauntingness of a goal of doing something like trying to create something that has a similar impact that Unus Annus did, which is a goal that I have. And again, I learned this just by really seeing how he's just a human being, and again, I knew that, but actually seeing it with your own eyes and experiencing it is different from knowing it. But he said that you should take things one step at a time. Something he did when he was getting started was focusing on subscriber milestones, because it was like a nice stepping stone towards his eventual goal of making it into his career. And he also said he suffered through a lot of frustration and generally being upset during that time. Put words in his mouth, because I don't remember exactly what he said about why he was upset and frustrated at times during that time, if he said that. But he did say that there were times where he was upset and frustrated during the road to being a YouTuber, as is the case. I have been plenty of times already, and I'm not even that far. And then the final thing he said about my question was that you shouldn't make the goal the only thing that is very important to you in your life, that you need to have something else that you really care about going on. Now, he didn't say this directly, but I imagine that very similarly to having the career as the goal, because it's very hard to do, to have a creative career of pretty much any kind, it's insanely difficult and luck-based to some extent, that not having something else to put your energy into is one of those things that could really drive you crazy and burn you out pretty quickly, I imagine. That's it for the Q&A part, for what he said to my question. I could have recorded that, I just didn't realize it. He mentioned after he answered my question at some point that we could record the Q&A section, and I really wish I would have, because it would have been nice to actually remember what he said well, because that's the thing I don't. Memory is fleeting. And then the show happened, and that was great. I'm not going to say what it was about. You'll have to go buy tickets to one of the tour venues, or wait until he releases it on his YouTube channel, if he does, if you want to see that. But it was incredible, and I think that he made a lot of really good points with it. And honestly, I think that's really all I can say right now, to be honest. Like I said before, he forgot some lyrics at one point, and that was interesting. I mean, the whole thing was interesting to see him be in an awkward position on stage several times throughout, including that moment. And again, just really see how human he is. That it sounds weird for me to say that, kind of, because of course he's a human being, but it's just, again, I've always known that, and I know it about Mark too, but it's just difficult to really understand that until you see the person without any editing, out of their comfort zone, because as far as I can tell, doing a tour in front of a lot of people by himself is probably not Ethan's comfort zone. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but you have to see it. You really have to see it to get what I'm talking about. If you're a fan of Ethan, you really have to see it. And then finally, after the tour venue, I got the chance to talk to him. After he was leaving, he was in his pajamas, that's where I got that picture from. But they were packing up to leave, and me and a few other people were waiting outside to talk to him, and he came out and talked to us, and they asked us to line up. I got in the very back of the line, and I was gonna maybe talk about how it looked like he felt, but there's no point in me doing that. I don't know how he felt in that moment. That's ridiculous for me to think that. It was just, I just wanted to say something about it because it was kind of cool to actually see him and be able to read him. Like, I feel like I can't. In a lot of his videos and stuff like that, I felt like I could actually read him interacting with his fans, and that was just, it was so fascinating. But I don't want to talk about it because I don't know him and I don't know what he was feeling, so I'm not even going to bother. But it did seem like he at least vaguely enjoyed my conversation with him. I hope he did. My goal with that conversation was to make sure that he knew that he didn't owe me anything, like he seems to think that he does. Not me specifically, but his audience. And I just wanted him to know that, at least with me, he doesn't owe me jack shit. As I mentioned to him last night, it was a bucket list thing for me to be able to thank him in person for Unus Annus, and I want to thank Mark and Amy as well. I guess that's all I have for this video. I mean, that's all I really had to say. Yesterday was a blast. And there were negative parts as well that, like, haunted me yesterday, but I didn't want that to take the limelight of this video because that's not what I took away from yesterday. So, yeah, I'm feeling better than I have in quite a while. And, again, thank you, Ethan, for talking to me yesterday, for the tour, for Unus Annus. Thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you to my friends. And thank you for watching. I honestly don't know what video I'm going to make for tomorrow. I'll come up with something. But after yesterday, I just want to do. I just want to do something. I want to go out there and do some things that make me uncomfortable, that I've been too scared to do for video ideas and stuff like that. I want to go do that. Being uncomfortable is awesome. It really is. I would say that's one of the biggest things I learned yesterday from Ethan. That being uncomfortable is awesome. So yeah, go be uncomfortable, and I'll see you tomorrow.